During the final session, Mr. Myers turned the jury's attention to identical twin boys, babies E and F. Just to recap, Lucy Letby is accused of assaulting baby E by ramming a piece of medical equipment down his throat, causing him to bleed, and then injecting air into his bloodstream to kill him in the early hours of August the 4th. She then allegedly tried to murder his brother, baby F, less than 27 hours later by poisoning him with insulin.
The jury was reminded that the brothers were born 10 weeks early because of complications with their mother's pregnancy. They shared a placenta, which meant they were growing at different rates, and their mother had planned to give birth at Liverpool Women's Hospital, but on the day they needed to be delivered, the hospital was full, so instead they were born at the Countess. Baby E weighed just under 3 pounds when he was born by caesarean section, a minute before his brother, who was slightly heavier. They were immediately transferred to the neonatal unit and placed in cots next to each other in the intensive care nursery.
You might remember that the twins' mother gave dramatic evidence in court about going to visit her sons at 9 p.m. on the evening of August the 3rd, a few days after they were born. She told the jury that when she got to the nursery, baby E was screaming and he had blood all around his mouth. So Mr. Myers asked Lucy Letby about this, and she disputed baby E's mum's version of events.
Was he screaming at that time?
No, he was unsettled at some points, but he was not screaming.
Did he have blood around his mouth when his mum came down?
Not from my recollection, no.
Do you recall any conversation about a tube irritating his throat?
No.
Did you or anybody send her away? Told her to go?
No, that's not something we would do on the unit. Parents are welcome 24/7.
The court heard that baby E's mother timed her visit at 9 p.m, and the jury have heard about a worried phone call she made immediately afterwards to her husband, which according to phone records she made at 11 minutes past 9.
But Lucy Letby suggested she was mistaken. She insisted his mum had visited an hour later at 10 p.m, which is what she'd written in the nursing notes. And in those notes she explained how baby E began to decline after 11:40 p.m, when blood started to come out of the feeding tube in his nose.
Mr. Myers asked her what she thought was going on at that time, and she said,
So his stomach was becoming more and more distended. There was a red horizontal banding across his abdomen. I wondered if he was bleeding into his abdomen.
Mr. Myers also asked Lucy Letby about what happened when he collapsed and stopped breathing just after 12:30.
At this point, Lucy Letby began to cry. She dabbed her eyes with a tissue as she described how CPR was started, but baby E started bleeding even more. And we should say this next exchange is distressing.
As events moved on, did baby E bleed any more than that?
Yes, he was bleeding from his mouth and nose.
Did you assist during resuscitation?
Yes.
Were his parents there?
Yes.
Was this something you wanted to happen?
No.
Had you done something to make this happen?
No.
How did you feel about what had happened?
I found his death very traumatic. I had never seen a baby bleed in that way before.
Lucy Letby continued to be upset as she told the court how she bathed baby E after his death as part of the routine bereavement care given to families on the unit once a baby had passed away.
She also said she helped to take hand and footprints. She dressed him and took photographs of both twins at their parents' request.
Mr. Myers then started questioning Lucy Letby about baby E's twin brother, baby F, who the prosecution say she poisoned with insulin around 27 hours later.
He reminded the jury that baby F had persistently low blood sugar from the early hours of August the 5th until 7 p.m.
And that a blood sample taken just before 6 p.m. that day, which was sent to a specialist lab in Liverpool for analysis, showed he had very high levels of insulin in his blood.
Lucy Letby is accused of putting the drug into bags of nutrients being fed to baby F via a drip, but she told Mr. Myers that she didn't really remember her shift on August the 5th. The barrister asked her whether she'd tampered with baby F's care.
Did you administer insulin to baby F?
No.
Did you interfere with any of the bags so that could happen?
No, I did not.
If he did receive insulin, he should not have received. Does that have anything to do with you?
No, it doesn't.
Mr. Myers pointed out that Lucy Letby continued to care for baby F on other shifts before he was transferred to a hospital closer to his parents' home 8 days later on August the 13th. Here's Mr. Myers again.
How did you want him to be?
I wanted him to be well.
Did you want to care for him?
Yes.
Did you want to hurt him?
No.
Did you do anything, to put it delicately, to try to finish off something you had started?
No.
Did you do anything in that period to hurt baby F?
No.
Would you have wanted that?
No.
What was your aim?
To care for him, to get him ready to go home.